Hi, this is Eric Gaddy, and I'm here with Bo Singletary with Laurel Insurance Partners, and he's here today to discuss a brand new product.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for having me on. In a world where pension funds have fallen by the wayside, many people are looking towards fixed annuities. The problem is with these annuities is that they're getting harder and harder to find access to. And the reason being, many financial advisors are simply trying to focus on managed money, collecting their fees every year, and you're subject to market risk. Whereas most of the insurance professionals out there are focusing more on indexed annuities, which are great alternatives, but they can be very, very complex and difficult to understand. Well, we have a carrier that has just come out with a great annuity that is really proving to be a great CD alternative. Whereas CDs are earning well below 1%, as much of us know, this product right here is paying 3.2%. Now, the advantage to that is that's a 2-year product. It's a very, very short time period. It is longer than most CDs. However, if you look at the cost of living adjustment, it is at 2.5% for 2019. What that means is if you have your money in a CD, your money, the value of your money is actually going down. And you know that as well as I do. Whereas part in this product, you're earning 3.2%. Therefore, this money is 100% safe and you're keeping up, surpassing inflation, as a matter of fact.
So 2 years, 3.2%. That's a really good rate.
And that is a very good rate.
Anything else in the marketplace.
And if you're willing to take a little bit longer risk, we can pay you 4.1 over a 5-year period.
So 4.1 for 5 years. Now, what kind of access do people have with this?
Okay, now this is the thing. If you want to get the 3.2% interest, that money is tied up. If you took it out, you'd have to pay the surrender charge. There is no penalty-free withdrawal, no access for required minimum distributions. However, what we did is we designed it as such where if you know you need required minimum distributions, for example, you simply just deduct 10 basis points or 0.1% from that 3.2, where that way, you know, you're only earning 3.1%, but you've got access to your required minimum distributions.
And this isn't for somebody, all of their money in the bank. This would be, obviously, everybody needs an emergency fund. Everybody needs a cushion. But if somebody is sitting there with a lot of CDs and they're only earning 1.5%, 2%, this is something that is a great alternative for 2 years to go into. Keep your money safe.
Keeping up with inflation, that's the big thing. I mean, because if you have your money parked in a CD, you're having risk right there alone because you're earning less than what the average cost of living adjustment is, which is 2.5 for this year. So if you do want to get a little bit more aggressive, you can get a product that is offered by the same carrier that is tied to the S&P 500. Now, the thing I like about this product is if the S&P goes up 30%, there is a cap where you only earn 10.5%. If the market goes up 5% over a year, your account is credited 5%. But now where this comes into play is if the market falls 30%, you don't lose your principal.
So completely secure.
Yep, it sure is. And then if you're looking for another simple product, we have one where it pays a 10% bonus right out of the gate. You put in money, you get 10%.
So if somebody put in $100,000, they would get a 10%.
The very next day, they look at their account value, they have $110,000. And then it is also another index product where it is tied to the S&P 500.
And so if the S&P loses 10%, you don't lose anything. If the S&P goes up 10%, you're participating in that.
Yep,
upswing.
you sure are.
So it's kind of the best of both worlds is that you're not going to lose anything, but you're going to gain on the upside.
Correct, correct. And how they're able to do that is your money isn't actually tied into the S&P 500. What they're very simply doing is they're buying futures in the market. So that removes the risk for the client. They are not.
The insurance company's taking the risk.
They're taking the risk, correct.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're hedging their bets based on volume.
So what type of fees are we talking about here?
This is another thing. take managed money, for example. What's the average fee on that?
1%, 1.25%.
Plus you have the internal charges. You're looking at average 1.75%, let's say.
Yeah.
This product has no fees. If you don't touch the money, you're not paying any fees. However, if you touch the money, you will have to pay a surrender charge. But most of them, you get 10% penalty free. So if you had $100,000 and you took out 10%, you get $10,000, you wouldn't pay a penalty. And you would pay the penalty only on the $1,000 in excess of 10%.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, if you're looking for income, this is a great concept, because if you turn on an income rider, it does not affect surrender charges or any penalty-free amount.
And that income rider that you're talking about is a lifetime income stream.
Yeah. And really, I like that concept, Derek, and bring up a great point. I like that concept for people with qualified money. In other words, people that have IRA money, and let's say they're approaching 70 and a half, they can put it in there. And then they're getting anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 as an income stream. Now, that also is what we call R&D friendly, meaning that it satisfies required minimum distributions. So what that means is that the client is satisfying all required minimum distributions based on that income rider that they're receiving. In other words, that income will continue on as long as they live, and they will always be able to satisfy R&Ds. Now, let me say one other point, where if you had that money in a managed account, and you're not earning the interest rate that you're having to pull out every year, or the market's in significant loss, that money will run out. Whereas if you have it structured the way that we're suggesting, you're getting that income regardless.
Yeah, that's the number one fear of people retiring, is the fear of outliving their money. So with something like this with an income rider, it's guaranteed whether they live to 79 years old or 109 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great concept. Yeah, it really is.
So we're talking about things that are safe and secure, that you can't lose your principal. They participate in the stock market, but you're not invested in the stock market.
That is correct.
That you're able to put on a guaranteed lifetime income stream, and the fees there's either no fees, or if you add a income rider.
Yeah, you do pay a few basis points for that rider.
So if you got an income rider, you may pay a little bit for that. But all in all, you're talking about safety and earning a good rate when the market goes up.
Yeah.
And not
preservation of capital, still focusing on accumulation. Yeah. Now, let me interject one other point, and I'm sure you'll be able to, speak to this. Annuities in the industry, especially among financial advisors, it's a dirty word. Yeah. And it's a dirty word to a lot of consumers out there. Now, you and I both know the annuities that really give the bad rap are the annuities with fees, meaning they're variable annuities. They're still investing in the stock market, and you can still lose your principal. Right. And then you're paying a much higher fee than if you had it in a managed account.
Yeah, your fees on a VA could be anywhere from 3% when you factor in the management fees. You're talking about maybe all close to 5%. So you could be in that 3 to 5% range. And if you're losing money, I've always told people, if you're paying 5% in fees and you're taking a 5% withdrawal, you've got to make 10% on your money just to break back.
That's your nut. That's your nut just to break even. You have to earn. And, honestly, annuities are not a bad concept. Even variable annuities in some cases. But if annuities are worked right, and you go with one that has a proven track record and that is set up the right way, no smoke and mirrors, and that's one of the things that I like to say is variable annuities have a lot of smoke and mirrors.
A lot of the financial advisors selling them don't even understand.
Exactly. And, they basically go in there using the rule of 72. Oh, hey, if you earn 10% or if you earn 7.2%, your money will double in 10 years. So the client walks out of there thinking that their money's going to double in 10 years. And that's not always the case.
Right. No.
So
no, there's a lot of hurdles to jump over. Yeah, and I think, when you look at annuities, there are people out there as a financial advisor for 24 years. I would hear people say, hey, listen, don't like annuities, nah, heard horror stories. But the thing is that I've always said with annuities, there are a lot of crappy annuities out there. But there's also a lot of crappy mutual funds and there are a lot of crappy stocks in an individual world out there. So, yes, there's kind of a place for everyone when it comes to annuities. A lot of people don't need annuities, but a lot of people do need it.
Well, yeah, and you're exactly right. And the thing about it is that when you think annuity, a lot of people think annuitization.
Right.
Where they're putting in $50,000 and they're getting a periodic payment and they can never touch that money. That money basically is gone to the insurance carrier and they're just guaranteeing you an income stream. Mm-hmm. Now, that's what really has a bad rap. Those are the commercials you see on TV, for settlements with annuities. All these law firms have their marketing them. That's what they're talking about. Now, if you're looking for a safe place to park money and just leave it there and let it sit there and bake, or if you're looking to satisfy required minimum distributions, I think an annuity is the way to go in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for safety and you're looking for income and you're looking for just peace of mind, being able to sleep at night, I think an annuity can address that. Now, if you say, hey, listen, I want to be aggressive, I want to be in the stock market, then you probably don't need to be in an annuity.
Right.
But at the end of the day, an annuity is not for everyone. But if you're looking for certain things, if you've got to require, a guaranteed lifetime income, there's only two other things that'll give you a guaranteed lifetime income. That's a pension and that's a security. So, I think annuities for the right fit are great. Now, my problem with annuities is that I know people out there that just 100% of their business is putting every single person they meet with in an annuity. And I don't think that is
the general rule of thumb in clear conscience. And you might have a little bit lower percentage. Never put more than 75% of somebody's liquid assets into an annuity.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's a good rule of thumb to live by.
Yeah. That emergency fund, that cushion, everybody needs that. I don't care what age they are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But I appreciate you having me on today, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and answering some questions on the new products.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
And if anybody's got any questions, please call the office. What's the phone number of the office?
The local phone number is 828-513-5045. I'm at option 1. Office administrator is Rachel. She's a good person if you need to schedule an appointment. She's at option 3. And again,
I don't have an option.
Well, I'll give you an option.
All right. Everybody have a great day.